Hello and welcome back to a chapter a day. Today is Tuesday, July the 9th, and we will be reading Deuteronomy chapter 23. Okay, let's hear what they have to say today. He that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord. An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way, when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor of Pethor of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Nevertheless, the Lord thy God would not hearken unto Balaam, but the Lord thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because the Lord thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the Lord in their 3rd generation. When the host goeth forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing. If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp. But it shall be when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad, and thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon. And it shall be when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, and thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of the camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master the servant which is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee even among you in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, where it liketh him best. Thou shalt not oppress him. There shall be no whore of thy daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both these are abomination unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it, for the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt keep and perform, even a freewill offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, then thou mayest eat grapes, thy fill at thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. When thou comest into the standing corn of thy neighbor, then thou mayest pluck the ears with thine hand, but thou shalt not move a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn. Wow, and that's the end of Deuteronomy chapter 23. Very straightforward. I mean, these are things about personal hygiene, things that God never likes. How should I say, things that are damaged. And even back then, you know, people who come to worship that were damaged, they were not allowed to come into the congregation, because remember, God was so much more physically involved with the children of Israel back then, that he was pure and holy and undefiled. And anything that was not pure and clean and wholesome was abhorred in his sight, was seen as an abomination. There were certain tribes or people, the Ammonites and the Moabites, who did not help the children of Israel when they were going through the wilderness. As a matter of fact, they forbade them to come through their lands. They are the ones that God said they will not ever be part of your congregation, even to the 10th generation. The Egyptians and the Edomites. The Edomites were from Esau. Esau was called Edom. So they were supposed to be welcomed into the congregation. Who else? Even the cleanliness of the camps. When they went to camp, you know, when you go to camp, and I don't know if you know anyone who's been in the military, they'll tell you. Or even if you've camped as a person. I've camped with our with churches before, and we have gone into wilderness camps where we have had to use nature as our bathroom, okay? And when we did so, it had to be dug down first of all to be placed, and then covered over to be replaced. You know what I mean, without getting too graphic. That is exactly what God was telling them to do. When you go to your camps, keep them clean. Don't do your stuff in the open, because when I come through the camp, you know, anything that is displeasing to me, I'm not going to continue on, and you're going to lose out, because I'm not going to be blessing you if I can't come through. So you got to keep your place clean. Even today, you know, some people, there are shows where they show people hoarding stuff and people living like animals even. That should not be. And I mean, really and truly, especially if you call yourself a believer, you should be one of the cleanest people. And they have a saying, it's just a saying, it's not a biblical phrase, that cleanliness is next to godliness. And I'm thinking it's because of some of these ordinances and instructions that God gave the children of Israel back then. Clean your place up. Don't leave mess around. This is what he's exactly saying to them. Also, the price of a whore, which is a prostitute, or a dog, don't bring that into the house of God. That means if you were to sell a dog, now I know dogs are very, how should I say, priceless to people these days, but dogs in the Bible are considered unclean animals. And I don't mean for eating, I mean in general. Don't lend to your brother. Give. If you can give, give, but don't lend. To your brother, just give him if you have it, okay? You can lend to other people, but don't lend to your brethren. Whether it's of your, you know, genes brethren, your blood brethren, or spiritual brethren, you can give. If you can, give it. And if you vow a vow to God, hold it dearly. If you said you're going to do something before God, then do that. And don't try to back out. Okay, that's about the size of it. And again, if you come into your neighbor's vineyard, and this is something that people say, you know, well, you have so much and I don't have any. If you're hungry and you want to eat from your neighbor's farm, you eat, but you don't pack stuff up to take away with you. That there is going overboard. This is what it's saying here. If you come in, you see the grapes, you eat to your pleasure, that's it. But don't put anything in a bag or vessel. And the same thing with the corn. You wanted something to eat, you eat some corn, some ears of corn, that's fine. But from the time you start to pick your neighbor's corn and put it in a bag, that's theft. Okay? And that's it. End of chapter 23. Good reading, once again. So, once again, remember, faith comes by the hearing of God's word. Thank you for joining. And again, have a great day until our next reading. Bye.